you ever heard somebody say that these kids are so soft today, there actually might be some truth to it. I'm going to tell you why. 2 years ago, I read the book Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, and he talks about this concept of building beliefs and the importance of it. Because if we don't believe we can do something, we're not even going to try to do it. So one pattern I'm finding in this youth mental health problem is many kids today, they don't believe they can manage and cope on their own. So with this video, we're going to talk about one of the main reasons why this is. So a great metaphor Tony gives in his book when talking about building beliefs is thinking of a belief like a tabletop. So that's what we got right here. Now notice our tabletop does not have any legs. So what the legs represent is evidence. We need evidence that this belief that we have is true. So the analogy I'll give is coaching tennis players, kids and teens. They'll come up to me and they'll say, "This player's so good, I want to be a good player too." And I'll be like, "Okay, what would make you a good player?" And they'll think about it for a second, and they'll say something like, "Well, if I had a consistent serve." I'm like, "Okay, what else?" "Well, if I had a more powerful backhand." I'm like, "Okay, what else?" "Well, if I had more spin on my forehand." I'm like, "Okay." So if you had those three things, then that would make you a good player. And they're like, "Yeah, I guess so." I'm like, "Okay, great." So the belief that we want to have here is good player. So consistent serve. I would be like, okay, what we're going to do is you're going to serve it 5 times in a row, and you're going to keep serving it until you make all 5 in a row. They're like, "I can't do that." Try it and see if you can do it. They do it, and they're like, "Oh wow, I did it." There's our first piece of evidence right there for a consistent serve. I'll say, "Okay, now I want to see you do it in a match." "I don't know if I can do that." "Just try it. Let's see if you can do it." They do it. Like, "Oh wow, I did it." Look, now we got our leg. "I want a more powerful backhand." "Okay, let me see you hit it with 90% more power on this one." They do it. "Oh wow, I did it." "All right, now let me see you do it in a match." They do it in a match. Same thing on the forehand. "I want a more spinny forehand." "Okay, let's go on the practice court. You're gonna go over there. You're gonna brush up on it a little bit more." They do it. They're like, "Oh wow, I've never had that much spin before." Evidence. "All right, now I want to see you doing a match against Julio." They do it against Julio. "Oh wow, I got the point too." Another piece of evidence. So now we got some evidence behind this belief that I'm a good player for this player. This concept applies to this problem we're seeing with youth mental health and resiliency. A common pattern is more parents today are kind of taking on the helicopter style of parenting, which is not giving kids the opportunity to find out that, hey, I can be resilient. So behind this book, Awaken the Giant Within, we got Daniel J. Amen and Charles Fay book, Raising Mentally Strong Kids. And a lot of the book, they're talking about raising resilient kids. And a few of the concepts they go into is putting your kids in opportunities where they will be challenged. And maybe they fail, maybe they succeed. But if they do succeed, in which they will if you continually put them in there and give them advice, then they will build evidence that, hey, I'm resilient. I can do this challenge, I can do that challenge, I can do this challenge. If you continually give them those challenges, then they will overcome them, and they will find that, hey, I did this all on my own. I can be resilient. I can do these different things on my own.